again. There was some type of upload problem here just a second ago, so I think just the internet being dumb. What's going on, everyone? Give this here a second. Let notifications go out. You guys get to accompany me on the porch with a cigar and a drink. Oh. Got a couple things to talk about. One will be this. You guys can kind of, hopefully you can see that. It's a new armorer's manual. So we'll talk about that. From the thumbnail that's part of this video it's kind of a cool day today. 2,500 subscribers. Maybe something else we can talk about. Someone says thumbs up when viewing. Here, guys, kind of tilt you down here so it's not so weird. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can see the chat's going on. There we go. Alright, guys. Well, it's just today. I figured just do a live stream. We'll chat, tell you what's going on with the channel, what's new with me. As usual, if you got any questions or something you all want to talk about, throw it in the comments and we can get into it. It's just a nice day here in West Tennessee, so we're going to enjoy the porch and a cigar. Because it's been a week. It's been a good week, but it's been a week. Let's see if I can keep this one lit for this live stream. Oh, well, guys, this is something kind of impromptu. Kind of wanted to go over, and we'll just start the obvious one. I was saying here a minute ago. The thumbnail for this video, channel hit 2,500 actual subscribers, not bots. It's actual people, and conversations in and out. So that's really cool. I kind of took a quick look through the other social media platforms, and they're doing well. Moving up, and engagements, up pretty good for what this channel is and what I do. So you guys know I'm not really a gear whore or anything, or review every new thing that comes out. I only review things or play with stuff that I think's interesting or that I would buy. So I hope you guys enjoy that type of content. Let alone granted, that's a lot of Steyr stuff. Trying to change that up, but we're just trying to find. I'm trying to find stuff that interests me in different genres. So I'm working on it. We'll find other things. Granted, I like old 1911s and getting into playing with a bunch of CZ stuff and thinking about picking up a few different CZs. Other bolt action guns and some AR stuff. Been filming and hanging out with some other YouTubers and checking out what they've got and just seeing what I want to buy. I mean, granted, everything's expensive, but when we're talking $2,000 plus ARs, they get real expensive, and I just don't want to have 5 or 6. I want to have the one I want. So kind of going down that rabbit hole and checking out ARs. So you guys know I wanted one of the war sports a couple of years ago, and I was really looking for one of those. And right about the time that I was let's see, someone says, AUGs are... Yeah, I mean, AUGs have always been about $2,000. Granted, I've had a few, and now I have a few more. It's just weird how you collect certain things and you don't... It's like, yeah, I'll spend $2,000 for that, but this other thing I don't want to. But going back in, I wanted a war sport, one of the LVAOs. And about the time that I went to pull the trigger on it is when the company went out of business. To kind of do my due diligence and what AR system I wanted to go with. So that kind of sucked. You can find them occasionally, but it's not the model I want. So I keep kind of looking to see if I can find one of those, but I think I found an AR. I got to shoot one from this particular company, and it was slick. I mean, it was real slick. So I'm looking into it. I'll let you guys know. Maybe I can get some more time behind it and get some actual pictures. It's just it's a it's a direct blowback gun. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. So it's not a gas piston gun. It's actually a DI. Let's see. I just saw yesterday. I'm still watching it. Let's see. Somebody was asking about the A2. One second. Where's that at? Sorry guys, I'm trying to pull up the chat. Where's it at? Do you have a Steyr A2? Oh yeah, dude. I actually had the very first Steyr A2 that was allowed inside the United States. I actually own gun 007, and it was presented to me from the owner of Steyr themselves, Mr. Doc Einard. So you'll scroll through it when you see if you see a Steyr A2 in my videos or contents or pictures, that's gun 007. So now again the AR thing. I'm kind of looking at those, so going down that rabbit hole. Let's see, later. Yeah, Instagram. There's a ton of good. Well, Instagram or Facebook, depending on which one of those that you use. But for the most part, the pictures between those two platforms run about 90% the same. But Instagram's just easier to scroll through pictures than it is on Facebook. So that's happening. So 2,500 people today, kind of doing the AR thing. I got to go shoot and play with the 50 the other day. I'm not buying it. If I'm going to spend that much for ammo, I want something a little bit different. But it was really, really cool. Alabama Arsenal let me get some trigger time behind his Barrett M82A1 with a suppressor on there. I was totally surprised how hearing safe that actually was. So I actually got to run it prone and in a PRS movement across the barrier at 600 yards. So it was pretty cool. I got one of the casings upstairs where I made a 600-yard hit with it, which doesn't sound super impressive, but when you grab a 40-pound rifle with that much recoil and you're picking it, slinging it, moving it through barriers, it's interesting, let alone the rifle technically wasn't zeroed, so I was kind of doing a hold-off. I'll take it. I have a 600-yard hit with a 50 on target, perfectly, with a solid sound impact, which was pretty cool. So that's happening. I have a new book. You guys know that I put out a bunch of the 9mm content for the AUGs and did a dive into the history of them, discussing where they're at. Right now there seems to be a decent insurgent of who actually has 9mm kits, or everyone's just kind of showing out and seeing, hey, I've got one, where they've been hidden for so long. And I actually today on I believe it was the AUG Facebook forum group, somebody has a Gen 1 that actually had the odd barrel that actually had not so much magna porting, but they had exhaust cuts into the tip of the barrel. But they actually did have one, and it's a first Gen 1. The stock was definitely very odd looking, the way it was put together. Looked like it had a mid-90s style case deflector that somebody kind of made for it that was screwed into the stock. It was pretty cool, just in general to see the history of it. But I told everybody that I come across and I got from Austria a 9mm AUG armorer's manual. So this is a legit 100, well, I cut it down from the 144 pages to like 80 pages just to have English. So, sorry guys, won't talk with some of that. Kind of gives, in general. Poland, wow. Man, what time is it in Poland? I think you're like 12 or 14 hours ahead? I got you really late in the day or early in the morning. But I actually needed this manual. Surprisingly, the kit that I have, I went to clean it and to mess with the bulk carrier group, expecting it. Ooh, 130. Oof. I'm assuming that's 1:30 in the morning. Not 1300. But Poland, here we go. So page 37. So page 37 explains on how to take this bolt apart. I was actually kind of stumped on getting this thing apart. I was terrified I was going to break the firing pin, and I wasn't for certain if the firing pin was an actual AUG pin or something proprietary just for that. So getting this manual, and I have it in English and in German, the full translation back and forth. It's literally one in English, one in German. It took me a few minutes, but I got that pulled apart, and it shows on how to make some of the tools or how to bypass some of the specialty tools for the 9mm kit. And granted, guys, I know there's not a ton of those kits floating around, but I did put it out there. If you guys want one of these manuals, or even if you just want one, breakdown, because it does show like how the trigger pack, it's got good diagrams. Yes, it's a 9mm armorer's kit, but the way it works, how a lot of the AUG main components all fall over to this. So I told everybody on one of my live streams or on a post, if you want this manual, I can send you a digital copy of it. You'll need to email me, and I will send you a PDF file. Though, if you want to print this, it is 144 pages, dual-sided. If you want to print one of these off, so be prepared for a lot of printing, or you'll need to go in to your settings when you print it and select out exactly what you want. But if you want one of these, shoot me an email at tnsteyr@gmail.com, and I'll send it out to you. It's free. If you feel obliged, you can donate to the channel. It don't matter. But if you guys want one, I'll send you a digital PDF file. It's in full color, and it's got really, really good high graph pictures and diagrams inside of it. So kind of show you how the 9mm works, and then other AUG stuff. So it's there. So I have it. This copy here is actually going to go to the owner that loaned me his 9mm. I printed it, and we laminated all the pages. So if need be, we can write on it, or he can. I actually have my own master copy. So that's going on. Let me see here 1 second. I think somebody had said something in a chat. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, Jules. Granted, I'm not a horrible person. I try not to be. I try to be nice with information. There's just a few things that I've explained over the time of the channel that I don't give out on. That's a lot of like torque settings or degree settings, so nobody breaks their gun or screws something up. Very, very particular things. So that's happening. Let's see. If you guys also saw for Instagram, you saw I got hurt on Tuesday. I took a piece of steel through my foot, so won't be on the range this week. So I'm kind of healing up. I'm good. Everything works down to my foot. It's just got a big, like, pencil-sized hole blown through my foot. So it's healing. I can walk, but it's sore. Let's see. What is the most aftermarket item? I'm assuming you're asking like what's the most for? And if you're asking for like cost or interesting, there's Corvus Defense makes a ton of parts. Gearhead Works, Claw Gear makes some stuff. Arid Engineering is coming along. They're making parts. Basically, I mean, you can get any type of flash hiders that you want. There are no actual. When I say trigger, let me refer. That's hammer pack. There's a couple parts that are made for that right now, and in my opinion, and granted, I seem to be like the one person that is the odd man out. I don't think any of them work, and any of them are safe. More than a range toy, I would not carry anything in any type of professional opinion with those parts inside a rifle. If you just want a range toy, case deflector. Two companies make case deflectors that are worth spending money on. One would be Arid Engineering. They make one right now. It's in a plastic polymer 3D printed material. It works really well. Check out my LMG, the 2020 LMG video. You'll actually see it in that one. It's on a tan colored AUG stock or rifle system, but it's on the stock. And then if you want to spend money and you want a metal one right now, Corvus Defense. Those are the only two that are worth buying. If you're just trying not to tear up your gun, get yourself a 50-cent piece of Velcro, put a mag through the gun, and you look at the ejection port side, you're going to see some scratches. Take a piece of Velcro, preferably the soft side of it, and just stick it right there, and it won't tear up the gun, and it'll kind of act as a case deflector. There's a couple companies that I've got one. I think Manicore Arms makes one. Manicore Arms makes ones, but that thing is god awful ugly, and it gets in the way, and it's not really attached. It's a pressure clamp that it goes on. I put one on, and literally the first time I put a sling around the gun, it popped off when I was doing a 2-gun competition. So testing on that one stopped immediately. The different magazine release, Arid Engineering makes one, and Corvus makes one. Corvus is really expensive, but I really love the butterfly convex curve of it. Arid is making one. Theirs is just still a prototype. They're in pre-production right now. So we'll have an aluminum one at some point, but their plastic one for pre-production has been pretty good. Kind of keep this thing lit here. But going back to the trigger pack parts, there's a couple different things. Like I said, none of it I think is safe to carry. If you want a range toy and strictly a range toy, have at it. But like the 2020 Steyr, I actually had a gentleman call the other night. He was messing with a NATO AUG. He had tried to put one in, didn't work. He got the trigger all out of adjustment. In like 20 minutes on the phone with him, we got his trigger linkage adjusted. Did my tuning. So if you look at like the Arid videos that we have here on the channel, I show, and or actually one of the Arid guys I filmed here at my studio explains on how to do the trigger tune that I came up with, and that particular gentleman said that was a better alternative than the 2020 Steyr. He actually had the same amount of trigger pull, the same weight, once he put it all back basically to stock. And he's not the first person to do it. So I always tell people, and I recommend, before you spend $100 or $200 on one of those new 2020 Ratworks Steyrs, take 10 minutes, do the trigger tune, shoot your gun, put a meter on it, gauge it, and see if that fixes fixes the issue of a bad trigger pull or out of adjustment trigger pull. Now there's some other things that are in the works. I put out a teaser video. If you guys want an AUG with a 5-pound or less trigger pull, it's coming. I'm working on it. Actually talking with a company. I kind of showed a video just of what the trigger reset and the pull looks like. We've been testing it, and it's in the works. I can't give anybody a time frame. There's one prototype I built, and I'm working on it. And it's drop safe, safe to carry, and it literally takes us like 3 minutes to install the part. So I'm working with them and then just going through that process. So it's going to take a little while, but I want to make sure I'm testing it. I've so far got about 1,500 rounds on this idea, so I'm making sure it's going to work. But I should have soon as I can get a trigger gauge here. Seems like they're all out of stock. You guys keep buying them all up or something. As soon as I can get an actual brand new like lineman trigger gauge, I'll have an official weight reading on it, and I'll put out a tease about it online about it. So when that happens, so hopefully, I'd really like to have that out and done by the end of the year, but it takes time to get products and parts to the industry. Sadly, I don't have the capital to make it happen within a week, so it's just going to take a little time. And I didn't keep it lit. You would think I'd be able to see these live chats. Sorry guys, I keep having to kind of touch the camera here. No, actually actually talked to somebody about that last week, and we not to say that there's a negotiation with it. It was a company that were wanting to basically design their own, and I'm like, well, I already have one designed. I'm just trying to find a manufacturer to build it. So that's still an ongoing conversation. I I'm kind of hoping I can work with the guys with Arid, and maybe I can, since they're doing small batch parts, maybe we can get them to build some of these parts that I've got prototypes all sitting down for that are ready to go. They just need to be put into on a lathe or a CNC machine and made, since they're already up and running. But for guide rods right now, the only company that I know that actually has them, and I believe it's only for M models, is BT guide rods. So if you've got an M Steyr, it doesn't matter what generation, you can put the same guide rod into it. But BT guide rods is it. There is a company that does that progressive spring, that two-stage spring thing. Don't buy one. It's a waste of money. You will cause yourself cycling issues and make an unsafe pistol. I've got one sitting upstairs. I have tried 3 or 4 times to get a video built on that thing, and I cannot get it to run long enough in video. Unless you guys just want a really choppy video of it going in and the gun going click, or cycling once and getting hung up and stovepiping, and me getting upset. It's not happening. It sucks. I even reached out to the company, and all their deal was cut the spring or get a different spring. Or it's for something that costs that much money. I'm not cutting springs. It should work, and it should work decently. Oh. So that's it. Let's see some other big news. This one I'm actually really excited about, and it will have been, oh man, almost 3 years in the making come August of 2022 here, when I gotta get to put the cherry on top and I can start writing and finish or start doing some of the film work and the other stuff. I mean, I've been working a series called 0 to 1 mile. So if you guys have seen the hashtag, or anytime that you see my big bolt rifle come out, that's 0 to 1 mile. And I've been filming now for 2 years. And COVID kind of screwed us up on it. I had a shooting partner. With COVID happen and life happened, and it's been 2 years. You guys see videos kind of quick, but like literally I've been filming for 2 years, pieces and parts, and compiling everything. But 0 to 1 mile, making the shot. You guys will see it on my new shirt, on my actual shooter shirt. It is a documentary series. I'm going to write a book, and we're going to do a whole bunch of videos on it. I'm probably thinking about 12 videos for 12 chapters. But if you guys ever have been interested in, DPM. Oh, what was that? Ralph DPM Works. Yeah, it's the DPM guide rod. It does not like my L model, 9mm, 40 or 357, like A2 and A1. It does not like my gun. Period. Granted, I've got a couple different ones. I think I've ran that thing through like 4 different L models, and it just doesn't work. But anyway, damn it, I don't like doing sorry guys. The 0 to 1 mile, making the shot, what it's going to show is if you've ever been interested in precision rifle shooting. Granted, it is PRS, but there's 2 types of PRS. There's precision rifle shooting, and then there's the precision rifle series. That's like what just happened here a couple weeks ago at K&M. They did the big gap grind, or the Kales shoot. Kind of works into that one. The other is ELR, which is extended long range shooting, and there's a few variants of that. What the whole program is going to be is just not caliber specific. Doesn't matter if you want to do it with the 22, 223, 308, or if you get into 50 BMG or 375 Shy Attack. the terms and everything that we're going to do will all correlate, but the actual distance that you're going to shoot will separate if you're a precision rifle shooter and a long range shooter or what they call ultra long range. So the two things that are happening here in the next 90 days is I'm leaving and will be in Kansas next week to do a shoot at Cedar Point. It'll be a rookie match for 1 mile shooters. I'm going to go there, get some range time and some others for inside the 1 mile. So from 1,760 meters all the way out to 2,500. I need to get some dope out there and then some more time in a match series with their rules and their certification. But I did post. I sent my application. Excuse me. I sent my application into King of 1 Mile. So if you guys see the acronym KON or let's see KO1M, that's King of 1 Mile, and it's for the first time it's happening here in the United States. You've probably, or if you look into it, King of 2 Mile has been a big 50 caliber association event going on globally now for 5 or 10 years. Eduardo Fond du Lac, which actually is one of the head instructors for Steyr Arms, was one of the leads on that one, and he was actually one of my instructors. He was also, like I said, the lead instructor for Steyr. Steyr Arms, a company for Europe and USA. So he was the man that was in charge of all of that. Wrote programs, wrote books, and has been he's a hell of a teacher. If you guys ever get to take one of his classes or read one of the books that he's published, I mean, the man is on a total different level than anybody else. It's just like the guys that run applied ballistics, that do your Kestrel type stuff. I mean, it'd be like taking a 5th grader and putting up against one of those guys that literally build the software. It's a night and day difference in level of shooter. But I sent my app in, sent where I've made my shots, what competitions I've been at, and they went through it and accepted, and I made it. There's going to be 100 spots opened in the U.S. for the first King of 1 Mile. It's King of 1 Mile USA, but it's for the global competition. So for USA, I'm in top 100 for light division 30 caliber. I believe I'm the only true 30 caliber shooter. Everybody else is shooting Wildcat cartridges or larger rounds. But for my class, my division, I've made it into the top 100. So next week I should have some points for their program to move up possibly, and then in August we're going to do a big live stream and we're going to vlog it. And that sounds awful. We're going to kind of do a vlog going to Texas. So kind of the end of August, we're going to go out and we're going to go shoot from 0 through the 1 mile process, and we're going to see how far I can take it. And that's going to kind of end what the series is going to be, and then I'm going to produce it all and put it out and kind of go over it. But we're going to do an introductional side of it, what each one of these different sport atmospheres are. We're going to get into how you choose a rifle, and it's not going to matter what your caliber is. All of the rules, all the ideas will pan out across it. I've had a couple guys that have come and shot with me. Actually ended up picking up a couple students along the way, different shooters I've shot with, and everybody shoots a different caliber. So it's been really exciting to do that. Yep, 308 Winchester is what I'm using. And what makes me a little bit different on what I'm doing is I wanted to make the series and the whole 0 to 1 mile process for what I created is 100% factory equipment. I literally, guys, when Walmart sold ammunition, I would go buy my ammo at Walmart. Right now, Walmart doesn't sell it, so I buy it at Academy or local gun store. It's nothing that's handmade. Everything is commercially. You can literally go to these companies' website, hop right on there, and buy it yourself. Granted, some things are expensive, and it won't matter your price point when we do this. will show if you want to take a $500 rifle, a $5,000 rifle, or a $25,000 rifle. It won't matter. It When you first start off, yes, better equipment will help you be a better shooter, but your skill. It doesn't matter if you've got good skill, a good rifle will work. If you've got bad skill, a very expensive rifle is not going to help. So that's kind of what we're going to show. But for myself, I'm shooting 308 Winchester, all factory loaded ammunition, nothing hand loaded. I'm gonna move for this thing here. Is that glare sucks? Here, guys, gotta move over. And you guys will get to experience and see what it is, and kind of do your own build if you want to get into precision rifle shooting. And that's kind of where it starts at. The ELR or ULR side of it will come in depending on access to your range space and level of skill. I mean, it's no fun if you take let's just say you take a 308, because it's easy, it's on my head, I can do the math quick and do the calculations. Where you live, if you only have 500 yards and you learn how to shoot from 0 to 500, that's great. You can learn all those different dopes, you understand windage at those distances. You take that person and you take them out to a range and go shoot 1200, it's all new. They got to redo the curve. If you take somebody that's used to shooting 1200 yards, that's great. You shoot 1200, you learn all of that, and then you kind of want to move out. You want to go further, like how far can you take it? And that's what I've been working on. So I shoot mid-range F-class with the same rifle. I shoot PRS in both different acronyms of it. And then just general deer hunting with the rifle. So what I'm messing with, there's such a broad spectrum. You can do whatever you want, and then you can narrow and focus into one category, or you can just stay very broad and shoot a little bit in everything. So that's what we're working on, and that's what I've been back burner messing with. You guys have seen a little bit of it if you watch the channel on a regular basis, or you kind of see it. I posted some 450 yard hits the other day, and then instantly switched over and went to 900. Getting out, ringing targets, and just doing pinpoint shots. So there's some cool stuff. My 1 mile, my very first 1 mile hit is actually here on the channel. It's from about a year ago, filmed and spotted. So hope we'll have some more. I'm not sure the difference between both kinds. I'm assuming you're asking, is there a big difference? There can be. There we go. Depending if you're looking to go into a particular series, like let's just say precision rifle series, a semi-automatic gun is a lot faster. You can just put ammo. You can go right back and forth. At the same time, though, if you mess up your calculations, you're going to waste a lot of ammo and you're going to be done really, really quick. Bolt action is a little bit more skilled. It takes a little bit more time, and it's different motor functions than just pulling the trigger. You actually have to learn how to run a bolt back and forth and pull a trigger, and there's different mindsets to it. It's just like if you only ever bench rush shoot to prone shooting, from prone shooting to actual stage targets where you actually have to get from sitting on your butt to on your tippy toes, or laid inside a pipe, or go out to a bunch of rocks and you have to set up your shooting stance. There's a bunch of different stuff. It's just like you might have a stage that there's nothing. You might end up, you can't lay on the ground and shoot prone. You need to sit on your butt, but you got to sit and kick a foot up or figure a way to sling the rifle and hold it, and actually shoot it holding your rifle. And in this class and division, we're using rifles that are 26 pounds. So my class, my division, what I shoot in light division is a minimum of 30 caliber and maximum weight of 26 pounds. That's basically the two rules of that class. You can there's a few things for like bipods. You can't have like stupid giant 4 foot wide bipods. Man, that light's really getting bad. Sunset. But for the most part, I mean, just think about this. I've got a gentleman who shoots. He's been featured here on the channel a little bit. He shoots a Christensen Arms uh, carbon fiber rifle. I think it weighed 7 pounds when he showed up. First 2 days on the range, I mean, he did well. Showed him how to put a little weight to it and increase that weight to like 15 pounds. World of difference. I mean, went from, you know, 2 MOA to like quarter MOA with a little weight on a rifle. But he also has a rifle that's truly designed to be more of a deer hunting rifle than a competition gun. So there's those things, and that's what we're going to talk about and show uh, what you should look for when you're buying a gun. So there's going to be a ton of information with this, and it'll be things to think about. The two biggest things I want to do with this was one to give understanding to the terms and like what you want to do in the spectrum of like what shooting sport you want to mess with. The other was so you don't waste a lot of money. If you guys know, as soon as you start going down that rabbit hole of playing with guns or moving around too much, you end up buying a ton of kit that doesn't work for one thing. It kind of works for something else. So it was to give you an idea and kind of a checklist to work with a budget and okay, I need to get this. I don't need to settle. I don't need to buy this $500 optic when I really need a $1,500 optic. And to understand the differences in those bipods. This particular gentleman with the Christensen, I think he's into his second bipod because the first one, not understanding it was a good deal, he was budget constrained on it, and ended up, I think it lasted 3 sessions before he got rid of it and bought an Atlas. So, yes, he spent maybe $200 for the first one, and the second one cost him $400. Well, if you just waited a little while, instead of spending the first two, you'd only have spent $400. So those are things to look at. Same thing with like scope rings, what scopes to look for, difference between mils and MOA. This, those types of things. What we're going to go over. So each one's going to be a chapter, and each one will be, a video just strictly to focus on that parameter to give you an idea. So. And when I end up writing the book, or it'll be a kind of a book like this. It'll be an idea. It'll be the same thing with pictures and a little bit more detailed and some graphs in it. It'll be some ballistic calculations. One section of it that I've been messing with is actually how to do ballistic calculations by pen and paper. How to actually build dope and not have to use a computer. Keep this thing going here and you can enjoy it. So that's what I've been messing with. You guys got any questions? Granted, I kind of got off into the 1 mile thing, but granted, I could be a little bit more excited about it at the moment. I kind of was on cloud 9 yesterday when I got my email notification that I was accepted to go compete. Not so much on a bragging point or anything, but was just more interested. There's only going to be 100 shooters. What barrel twist bullet be? So for my personal one, my Steyr SSG08A1, it is a heavy. It's a 23.5 inch barrel, and it's a 1 in 10 right hand twist. And currently I shoot a 185 grain Burger bullet. So if you hop over on Federal Ammunition's website or Burger Bullets on their website, look up the 185 Juggernauts. That's what I'm using, and they're moving at about 2,583 feet per second. Giles technical sling. Maybe if I saw a picture of it, the model's not off the top of my head. I actually use a Magpul MSD4. It's a QD system because I've got the Gearhead Works receiver lock stud for QD mount, and then across on the A3M1 I've got the up front rail, and then I've got Corvus in the back. So I've got like 3 positions for QD I'll have to look it up and get a picture of it. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I saw a picture of one. It has a like a click, like an S hook or a dual C pinch hook on the front of it. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Somebody sent me a picture of one not too long ago that was set up that way. Just also too, depending on what AUG you're running that on, I'm assuming it's on a A3M1. Do yourself a favor if you're right-handed. Let's see. Oh, come here, right now. I'll put this. What's this? Badge. Okay. Yes, ma'am. As you guys see, I have the gun cap. Going back real quick on the AUG. You can't have that option. Okay, I'll have to come back to that one here in a second. So on the AUG, so I'm assuming if you're right-handed, do yourself a favor when you put your sling on, the back buttstock, make sure that your QD, or if you're using the factory pin, make sure it's on the outside. It should be on the ejection port side, so the sling comes around your shoulder. It's not inside on your shoulder. It will make a big difference when you do transitions. It's kind of an odd thing. Granted, it's preference. If it works the other way, that's fine. But if you want to set one up to help with transition, and basically it keeps the sling on the outside of your body, so the gun comes on the inside back and forth. You're not having it on the inside where it gets around on the butt pad when you stick it on your left shoulder, or inside your left pectoral when you try to do an offset shoot. Just as if you're trying to two-gun it or something. When it comes down to double click, I actually have not spoke to double click now in probably about a month or so. I think they're just backed up with orders. They're not making holsters or anything. I just think they've got too much going on. I saw We the People made holsters. There's been a couple more manufacturers that have stepped up to start doing it. I don't think they actually advertise it though. The few people that I have seen on the forums and Reddit that like got a holster, it's basically been a lot of one-off from companies coming around. I would say with double click, the best thing to do, and granted my discount code still works too, that's plus, save you 10%. Shoot them an email and just ask them, when they're going to take more orders, or tell them what you're looking for. Maybe if you just tell them, like, hey, I understand it might be 6 or 8 weeks to get it. It's not a big deal. Just, I want one, and put your order in. Tell them just make an order and put you in line for whenever they get to it. So will be out that way. We'll try to contact them this weekend. Let them know that I will be out there in August. Maybe I can swing by their facility, because I will be just outside of Dallas Fort Worth, and I believe that they are down in the Waco. I know they moved their office, but I think they're down around the Waco area. But I'll check into them and see if I get an update. But I mean, granted, they run their own company and do stuff. I like their holsters. I know the last one I ordered, I think it took like 6 or 8 weeks for it to come in. So I just sent them an email, told them what I wanted, and told them when it happened, bill me. Shoot me a message, and I'd pay for it, or over the phone, whatever I needed to do at the time. So that's probably the easiest thing to do. If any of you guys are out by Kansas, there is the Sear Point match is happening, but I will be traveling out to Kansas next weekend, so I'll be passing through a few different places, but I'll be traveling out there. If you guys need something, or want to holler at me on that route, basically just think of Memphis, Tennessee, or Nashville, Tennessee, to Kansas City. It's the easiest thing to think of. So we're gonna go up and over. Then in August, like I said, we're gonna be going out to Texas, out the Dallas Fort Worth area. So I'll be there and everything. Um, at the moment, guys, normally I do my uh, range day, my annual range day every August. But with this August being so full of competitions and everything, I've kind of postponed that. Um, Nothing's official just yet. I'm working out some details, seeing about time and just different competitions in my schedule. So at the moment, I'm going to say this year might be put on hold, or it just might be moved to a later date. But still working on it. I just haven't made an official announcement or decision on what I want to do. Actually, I'd like to get up with some other YouTubers and just do a giant YouTube day of a whole bunch of different gun people. So I don't know if you guys are into it or something, or you see the video. I mean, granted, date and time's on this one, but if beer here, where's the beer? I've got. What am I drinking tonight? I've got a Cam and Jack margarita thing. It tastes pretty good. Any word on? I am. Yes, that company. I do not know how to pronounce that one. I'm not even going to screw that one up. Their equipment is strictly for their country. They cannot export that I'm aware of. They cannot, or they don't. Let me take that back. I don't know 100% the way I understand it is. They cannot export because they don't have the license, or they don't want to export because they don't want to get the licensing. But their equipment is strictly in Europe. So I have not seen one. I have not touched one. Anything. Probably your information that you saw on Reddit or you see that they post on their Facebook page is what I've got. I did see. Let's see in my butt. Nubs. Well, that's Mishka. She is a. Well, we thought she was a Russian blue, but she's something else. She's actually a therapy cat.
Nebulon.
Ah, well, Miss Tnsteyr says she's a Nebulon. So, fancy word for a long-haired Russian. But she's super allergenic, but she's actually a therapy animal. So, she's really sweet, and she has a thing for new guns. If you ever come here to the office or ever see us out when she's with us, like, she has to inspect every freaking rifle and pistol that comes in. She has a thing for sniffing. So, but she's good. She's just chilling. Let's see. Sun's moved. Let's see here. I'll show you. There she is. What you doing, Mel? Yeah, she's something else. She's horribly spoiled. But no, going back, Arid put out on their Instagram page today. Man, that sun's right back in my face. Looks like their website, or they're getting ready to go live here in the very, very short future. Probably like in the next week, 2 or 3. They're just working something on, I believe, like on their credit card processing or payment something. It's inside their post. Basically, it's getting the business system set up for just doing order process to actually get payment captured. But if you'll go check out their website, or not their website, sorry, if you'll check out their Instagram page, they just made a public announcement about it, and it was out today. History of Steyr. Well, oh man, let's see. I'm gonna keep sliding over, guys. There we go. I can kind of give a brief history of that. I think, actually, if you want to get a little history on that, type in Tnsteyr into Google and look at the. I wrote an article on the AUG about 3 years ago. For certain, you can find it on my WordPress, but it was published. It gives you a little history of the company. granted, it's more focused on the AUG side of the history, where the rifle's been used at, how many countries it's been involved in, but it will give you some history about the company from my perspective, what I know about them and time and everything. Another good spot if you want just a quick over glance. Check out Steyr USA. They actually have it. It's go to the bottom of their website and it'll say like history or like time, and it'll start with the original founder of the company in the late, I think it's like 1700s. And Steyr themselves are Steyr Mannlicher, which was also Daimler, Pooch, and then all the other companies put together. I mean, you would be surprised of how many companies Steyr underneath the Steyr logo. Well, would you do a sort of? I wouldn't mind hanging out with Ian. Him and I have talked a few times. Everything. I know he's got a Steyr GB because I tried to buy his. I mean, it would be cool to work to hang out with Ian on a professional level. I did not see him at SHOT Show this year. I saw him the prior year. Granted, there was a SHOT Show we missed, but the prior one, him and I actually had a good conversation. Well, I'll see about reaching out to him, and you guys can do the same. I mean, a lot of the YouTuber guys, I mean, their contact information's there. Reach out to them, shoot them an email. Granted, a lot of the direct message stuff, the big channels have handlers, where it takes a couple times to get through to them. But a lot of them have, Gmail, accounts or so, or a way to get a hold of them. You can reach out to them. I was actually really surprised. Colin Noir at this year's SHOT Show actually recognized me, and him and I talked for a few minutes about some Steyr products and ELR stuff. Oh, 1 second. Where was that one at? Something. Let's see. Steyr MF pistol about leading block to design. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, granted, we can do a history one. I'll put that on my topic board. Maybe we'll do a hangout one night. We'll do it inside the studio. We can kind of go over some of the history. That's actually a really interesting one about when Glock came over. It was not truly when they came. Yeah, I have to move a little bit. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna slide this thing around. Yeah. Gonna get all types of wobbly here. Here we go. Oh, horrible window. We can do a history. We can hang out and do just a live one night, kind of talk about the history. A lot of people, though, just for that particular point, think that he came over and designed the M model Steyr. He actually didn't. He came over and designed the Generation 3, and which led into Generation 4 Steyr M9A2 or the M9A1s. He actually started to improve them around generation between 2 and 3, and then that followed over. But it's really interesting of the two companies where they're at in the world. They're literally in each other's back door, or their neighbors, and the people that work from one company that move to the other company, and then they switch out. So it's actually kind of interesting. Oh. Well, I think I'm answer some more questions here as they come in. I know there's a delay. We're kind of pushing up here towards that hour mark. So we'll be ending this here shortly. If there's something else you guys want to kind of touch on, like I said, I'll put that down on my board for maybe here in the near future. We'll just do a hangout. We can talk a little history, or show some of the guns that go back and forth. I'm hoping I might actually get another GB that I can show a different model of the GB and kind of show the differences side by side. Talk a little bit about it, but there's a few of the historical guns from Steyr I'm still trying to get. But I've got most of the modern stuff right now, or I've had most of the modern stuff here on the channel. So I would say currently I've had anything that Steyr's made um, in the last 20 years, 20 to 30 years. I've had one here on the channel or got to play with it. So it's just getting that stuff that's older than, 50 or 60 years. All right, let's see here. Double check and make sure I didn't miss any of your guys' questions. Try not to get my finger here into the camera. All right, I think. Let's see, Paul Hart carried HEB. Oh, yeah, for the GB. Actually, I ended up. I can't think of the company off the top of my head. They actually they still produce GB barrels, and I'm trying to get one from them that's actually suppressor ready. So they will do it. It just takes a little time to get one built. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be a Christmas present or birthday present I can work myself into. They're not horribly expensive. It's just more money going out for something else. And you guys know ammo's expensive. If you will say for you guys that are watching right now, but anybody that's seeing it, if you're interested or you like the idea or want to know more info on the 0 to 1 mile project, leave a comment here, or it would be better for me if you have a specific question about precision rifle shooting or something you want to make sure it's in there to give me a focus point, just kind of because there's so much information I want to cover it, but I don't want to skip over one. Let's just say we're talking scopes, explaining. I don't want to go too deep on just one subject. I want to make sure I cover it all. But if you guys have any questions about PRS, ELR, shooting, or just general purpose good marksmanship, running and picking out a rifle, or like what you actually want that I didn't talk about, or just to make sure I cover it, please shoot me an email. I'm taking and putting all those notes down. Like I said, it's been a multi-year process. So you guys are going to see me from being skinny, fat, cold weather, hot weather. I've got 2.5 or 3 years worth of video footage, just from different points at different levels that we're going to put all together and use. And then I'll be filming a bunch of new stuff. And then everything that we're doing, from here on will be entered into that. Hopefully I can actually get a very, very smart person about suppressors. And we're going to touch on doing that. Like, do suppressors actually help for like long distance shooting or precision shooting, and why you want one, maybe why you don't want one. So kind of going to talk about that. I've got that one pinned down, which you guys have seen. I've been working with a lot more suppressors, and that's actually courtesy to a couple different YouTubers. And fun getting another text message. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it for the night. It's the weekend, so I'm gonna finish off and enjoy it, do some things, and heal up. So I want to be able to actually bear weight and tote my heavy rifle around and have to move. So get my foot healed up and then make sure I'm good for next week. Alrighty. Well, as usual, guys, thank you so much. I've been putting out there, and granted, I am not one of the big YouTubers that wants your money or anything else. I just want to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, tell somebody else about the channel, because we hit 2,500 today. That's 2,500 actual people that we conversate with, back and forth. The community's there. You guys can post on the pages. Remember, there is a Facebook for you guys. You can go into it. There's a community tab. Tag me on Instagram. I like to reshare. If you got pictures, something, I'll give you full credit. Try to build a community this way. But we're here if you have questions or you want a direct answer. I'm not that hard to find. You guys can DM me, email me. I really try to answer everybody's questions in a reasonable time. I'll help you with parts. I'll help you with manuals. If you actually need an armorer, remember I'm a licensed Steyr, armorer. I have my certifications. I help write the book, and I even teach those classes. on one-on-one basis. Is if you guys need help with something, you want to dig into your AUG or your pistol or your safe bolt system to understand how it works, or if you need help with it, I can do that here and help you guys out. So easiest way is direct message on Facebook or Instagram. Second best way is shoot me an email. So tnsteyr@gmail.com, and I'll do what I can for you. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna kick back, relax. Sun's finally gone down, so I'm not getting blinded. Alrighty. Y'all be good. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy.